Rising, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us this morning. At 9 a.m., we will close our social media and continue on Zoom only. Join us by getting your Zoom link at elizabethvisionaryconference.org. We'll be there until 10 a.m. You can join us now, and we'll see you in Elizabeth's Zoom room. Today, your hosts are Mama Ayaba Bay and Mama Awa Ya. Enjoy.
Grand Rising, everyone.
Grand Rising.
Happy to be here to see another day, and we're in the heart of the solstice. And so the Grand Rising extends very deeply within right now because we're all in a transitional and transformational sequence, even if you don't feel it. Although I don't know how anybody cannot feel all this energy coming up in here. The summer solstice is a hot time.
It's
hot
here
and dry.
It's here.
It's here. And our diet, and Asara said, our diet transforms or changes to hot and dry types of food. And we do that anywhere from 4 days leading up to the solstice to 10 complete days in the cycle, where you'll be eating salads made of dandelion, radishes, what did she put in there? Carrots, garlic, your hot foods. And then we have the drink that we make with fresh squeezed orange juice, cantaloupe, and a couple of other ingredients. We do this every season change. We have a different diet that we incorporate in our life in order to be in sync with the cycle of the time.
Queen?
Ma'am?
Is that to prepare you for the change of the cycle into the summer solstice by doing a dry?
Yes, it not only prepares you, it prepares your blood, prepares your digestive system.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, everything gets prepared. Because number one, we have lived a life over here in North America that's totally the antithesis of what nature intended. And when I say that, we've been lied to so terribly much that for some people, and I don't think it's any of the Elizabeths, but for some people, it's going to be extremely difficult for them to make changes from things that they believed all of their lives to be true. However, in my life road experience, I keep meeting people that ask the same questions I ask. How can this be? How can that be? How can one man go in everybody's house in less than 24 hours and deliver gifts all around the world to every child?
I wonder what that is.
How can a big fat man like that go down through people's chimney?
Right.
I mean, these are questions that even young children, as a kid, I asked it, but I had the kind of parents that were like, they were just a lot of fun. And one night, one Christmas, they were fixing up all the things and they got so tired, they fell asleep. And my sister and I, when we got up that morning, my aunts and my mom and dad, they were laying across the gifts, sleep. And of course, that gave us an indication that they must have been the ones putting them up there. So then came other stories. But I'm not going to talk about that today. I just want to bring that up as why we are practicing these various exercises during the different solstices, something we did not know.
You know, Queen, you know, that reminds me of how we come into this world with everything we need. We come into this world pure and perfect. But then again, it starts with, the parents, you know, that put you on that fantasy and that fairy tale and start alleviating the real for the illusion of life.
The gift that Lucifer was a beautiful angel according to the description in the Bible. And he was the greatest of all the musicians. He could play all the instruments and he had a voice like an angel and he had a magnificent voice. But his character was competitive, and he wanted to compete with God. The problem is a lot of people don't want to see the correlation between the people on this planet and that story. And the Bible says that Lucifer was cast into the bowels of the earth. Well, in truth, only the living beings that can walk have bowels. And when we leave this world, the preacher says, from the earth you came, to the earth you return. And y'all heard me say before that we didn't come from the earth. We came from the spiritual realm first. We came from what we call God Almighty, or the Creator, by whatever name. I respect all the names because I respect all the languages. You remember the story of Babylon? Everybody trying to say one language. And according to the story, God broke it all down and sent people here, there, and everywhere with different languages. But they have the same concept. We all have the same concept of this thing we call God, with the exception of some other people. If you go to any tribal or aboriginal people on planet Earth, they all have the same concept. They all have the same way that they approach this thing they call God. They divine for it. They may not even use that word. They may say, I'm making my contact with God. I'm talking to God. Even, where is it? I pulled this, I didn't pull it. I opened up my phone this morning and it was there to greet me. I sometimes listen to this dude named Joey Yap. He does Yi Jing. And this time he's talking about the
Spell his name. I couldn't hardly see it.
JoeyYap.com/divination. Joy Yaps, the power of divination.
Oh, okay. Joey Yap. Okay.
Yeah. And proposed agenda, day 1, June 24th, Friday. Turning in to divine energy, discovering your sacred gift. The grand Yi, recommending to the source for infinite wisdom and guidance. Reconnecting to the source of infinite wisdom and guidance. The Seek quadrant, and your cosmic profile. Discovering your sacred gifts. Day 2, the what system? The mother system, the trigrams, the 64 hexagrams, and Yi Jing systems. Yi Jing as a problem-solving tool. The 3 rules to shift into problem-solving mode. Answering burning questions. The 3 essentials in interpreting your hexagram and attunement methods. These titles are phenomenal. Building spiritual muscle and accumulating spiritual currency. Methods to awakening your greatest Yi asset. Yi to them is what we call Chi. Same thing. Methods to awakening your greatest Yi asset. The wisdom pyramid, unlocking wisdom in your daily life. Yi Gua, interpreting methods. Business success and entrepreneurship. The 5 stars of Yi Jing. The Yi Jing hexaframe. Spiritual questions that stimulate financial growth. That's what he's going to be doing for the next 4 days. From Friday the 24th. And it's free. Now, I share that with you because I want to confirm what I'm saying, that this is all around the world. You know, there's a part of the Bible that says the first shall be the last, and the last shall be the first.
Yes.
And we became the last from being the first. And this first, I'm saying, is not a competitive first. This first is an actual, what do they call it when you dig up bones and artifacts from people's culture?
Archaeologists?
Archaeology. Archaeologists, Caucasian archaeologists, and I use that because a lot of times people don't want to hear what Black folks got to say. Well, you say the white man said it, then folks, well, the Leakey family, they are a famous anthropological family in North America. And they claim that the oldest relics that they've found so far have been those of people from what the Greeks call Africa. Dr. Ben, I don't know if any of you all are familiar with Dr. Ben. Okay, Dr. Ben called it alkebulan, AL-KE-BU-LAN. The Greeks call it Africa. The word means the skin of God. The skin of God. I've been trying to tell people for years, they always have known. They know who we are, just like Lucifer knew who he was and who God was. We've got to begin to be more open in our ability to receive the truth, because this is the age and the time of revelations, the reveal. This is the reveal age. So I always say, my family members sometimes used to ask me in the past, aren't you scared to know all that stuff? Even my mother asked me, aren't you scared to know all this stuff? I said, if I say I'm scared to know all this stuff, I'm saying that my God has no power. I can't say I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm not scared. My God has all the power. It sends me into these places. You know, they say the fool go places where angels fear to tread. So I wouldn't say I'm a fool, but I don't have the fear. I don't have the fear of that.
Yeah.
Anything I fear is not being truthful to my purpose for being here. Anything I fear is not being able to stand before this power in the day of judgment and be told I didn't do what I went there to do. I choke up when I think of that. That's the things I fear. So, and I don't even really fear that. I just don't want that to happen. I have a meditation from a source said that I want to share with you all, but it's not going to happen today. I'm going to try to have it set up for next Wednesday. And it's more than 10 minutes, but I'm trying to narrow it down to 10 minutes. And then we can discuss your experience of that meditation afterwards. What I do want to say, following up from yesterday, oh man, I got some stuff I want to follow up with that.
Queen, can I jump in there right quick?
No,
When you speak, it's just little things that come to me. And I was watching the Harriet movie, and before Harriet traveled, she spoke with her father, and the father said to remember, fear is your enemy.
Yes, your worst enemy.
The worst enemy. And so it's amazing that you speak on this today, because that's just been a little sticky on my little sticky pad. The word for the day is fear not, because it's your worst enemy.
It's your worst enemy. That's right. Fear is also a built-in warning system.
Yes.
For you. It's not put there for you to fall back. Yeah. I might be afraid of a lion, but I'm gonna fight.
That's that fight flight. Sometimes you can become, you can become so fearful that's like backed into the corner, and what are you gonna do? Without your own thoughts, you jump into action, because fear is there to use, but how do you use it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It don't always have to be for the negative. It could be absolutely it's that fire that's put under you. I have a son that's he just fear the world. He's a woe is me. He's a worry wart. I hope he's not listening. But when I put that fire under him, that fear activate, and then he realized, like, oh, that wasn't so bad after all. They say fear can heal or kill you.
Yeah, what I found is that fear will paralyze you.
Yes.
And
true.
One example is that I had done a video shoot and paid like $1,000 for it, right? And it didn't come out right. It did not work out right, and it's paralyzed me where I was afraid to do the next one, because I had, wasted that money, and Obviously, I didn't know what I should have told him to do correctly and stuff. And I realized that thing caused a fear in me and caused me to be paralyzed, not to move forward. And so I found someone who could break that. In other words, I had to go through it to know that I wasn't stuck at that disaster. I wasn't stuck there. So I got somebody else who walked me all the way through the next video shooting so that I could be free. Yeah.
Amen.
So it paralyzed you, stopped you from doing anything.
That's true. I can remember as a child, my mother being home alone with the children. My father was working and it was night. And she come running into our room to look out the window. Then she ran to another room to look out the window. And when she came back through, I asked, "What was the matter, Mom?" And she said, "It's a man on the porch." And my mother ran downstairs. Instead of running downstairs with her, I couldn't move my legs. I
Paralyzed.
I froze. So yes, I understand about that fear. Then all of a sudden, something came over me where I could start moving again.
Yeah.
And the man being gone, my mom was downstairs washing the dishes. Life lessons, I tell you.
I know, right?
Well, that brings me to, we need to have goals. We need to set goals. And one of our goals needs to be to make up our mind what direction you want to go in. Yeah. We are no longer at the liberty of just sleepwalking. Not when you know the truth. Yeah. The book said, once you know the truth will set you free. Yesterday, I made mention of the initiation process, the Women's Society. Elizabeth is like a woman's society. It could possibly be that's what instinctively is driving you to create Elizabeth, was your experience in Women's Society in another lifetime. See, Women's Society is the magic wand of the entire village, because it's through that process that the women became the ones who handle all the money. They would control the marketplace. You hear when the white man comes back from Africa or India or any of these culturally driven countries, he tells a story about the women don't have freedom. The women are under the control of the men. No, the women are under the protection of the men. That's quite a different concept. Right. I met some Muslim brothers. I didn't meet them personally, but my daughter was in, oh God, what's that store where they sell all that women's clothes? I can't think of it. The women underwear and the sexy garments and all that stuff. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Something Secrets.
Yeah, somebody.
Victoria's Secrets.
It was about 5 Muslim brothers in there shopping for the women that they got. And I mean shopping for real. I mean big old bags. All right. Stuffed with those women's clothes. And if that was the case, what the Europeans come back and say, why they in there doing all that? Why they spending all that kind of money? And look at all the children they have. They're certainly not on vacation from sexual contact. They have plenty of children. And the women, there's a dance that the Muslim women do called the dance of the 7 veils.
Yes.
And that's where she's covered from head to toe in these beautiful veils. And as she dances, he removes the veil one by one until she's totally naked in front of him. Come on, I mean, we gotta dig deeper. Isn't it beautiful? We gotta dig deeper than what we're
with the waist beads on.
With the waist.
Good morning.
Dive on in there. Yeah, girl. I'm gonna talk about you today too. Head hair root, I mean. So it says here, the horizon separates heaven from earth. You can reach the horizon, that place where the rainbow meets up with the earth. Oshun Mare, the rainbow, the wealth giver, where the finite meets up with the infinite, where the spirit world meets up or enter the physical world. And I'm bringing that up to you because people don't have the right concept of what intercourse is, you see, because we're taking our cue from the U's. you people. I can't tell you everything that goes on in the Women's Society, but I can beat around the bush. And the point of the fact of the matter is, we not only learn how to cook and sew and plant food and raise our children, we learn how to be pleasing to our men. And even in Mali, among the tribal people of that area, this will blow your mind. When a boy becomes a man and gets around 27, 28 years old, he goes into a secret place with his mother. It's just him and her. And she opens up her vagina and tells him, this is where you came from. And this is what you must respect for all of your days, whether it's mine or your wife's or your mate. This is what you respect, because without this, you wouldn't have been able to enter into this world. See, here, this place is crazy. You can't be naked unless you're in a porno business. You can't show your so-called private parts unless it's on a TV or being filmed for a movie.
That's the concept of the mind and thinking. That's what they're trying to promote. It's nothing but the dirt, the sex, the negative of it.
Well, there is no negative.
But that's what they like. That's what it's either one or two things. They put that negative in it, the no, the hush, 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 the cover yourself. But then it's that dividing line. Then they put in, the pleasure, the wrong pleasures of it,
And that's what they call it.
I'm no expert on that.
Well, that's what they call a hypocrite. That's a contrasting, conflicting way of living your life.
Yes.
If they see, yet you can walk down the street with a skirt all the way up to almost the bottom of your underwear, and nobody says anything, or nobody go, ooh. But I remember one day my daughter was running around the house butt naked. She was about 2 years old, because in the culture that we practice, a lot of times you be naked at home. You don't be walking around with no clothes. You're free, all that. And my uncle came in. He said, girl, you running around here naked, you better go put some clothes on. I said, hold up. I said, this is my house. And I don't want you making her feel any way about her body, about her being naked. And right now you made her feel like it's something wrong with her being naked. So she's gonna run and cover up. But that's the whole hand-me-down tradition of the way the American life appears to be. Yet, I know we all grown up now enough to know folks do things behind closed doors. Some folks do things behind closed doors that you don't even want to be a part of. You don't want your children to be a part of it, or anybody that you love, but it's there. And so when I speak of things we have to undo, it goes deep. That rabbit hole is so deep, we don't even know where it ends. So you have to make up your mind. We have to make up our minds where we want to go with this life that we have. How do we really want to live it? The question would be, well, why are you talking about covering up if you're saying that the body is beautiful? Because in our concept, what you're covering up is the things that other people are not supposed to see, not other men are not supposed to see, other than the man you got. And for my life purpose, it shows respect for the man you got. Nobody should be seeing all the crack between your ass and your cleavage and your breasts all the way down to the, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, some breasts look like it's gonna jump out of the person's shirt.
Right.
And then they wear underclothes or overclothes. Now, y'all, everybody here old enough to remember when you wore the slip, the half top slip under your clothes, when you wore tights under your clothes, when you wore the half slip with the lace at the bottom under your clothes.
The camisole.
Yeah, tell me those fancy names, the camisole. Which one is the camisole? The top or the bottom?
The top.
The camisole. You wore that. Now the girls, I saw a young girl yesterday with one on. I wanted to go over there to her so bad and tell her, Why are you wearing your underclothes on the front? But no, I didn't. However, we don't make choices anymore. We follow the pattern of the other people outside of our life.
Mhm.
Even it's the one thing that they have not been able to do so far is turn black. They can get a suntan, but they're gonna wear off. So far, they even can mush up their hair till it looks like it's nappy. They call them dog locks. Isn't that interesting? And we call them dreadlocks because it's supposed to make people be dreadful of you because they know what you're carrying. You're carrying the Spirit of God with you. You acknowledge it. You live that as your source in life. It's not something you wear on Sunday. You wear it every God day and every night. Your opinions, your thoughts, your character is the symbol and representative of that energy. Tension, here it is right here. You don't hurt people because hurting people will separate you from God, from that source. Now you're going to hear me say two things. You don't hurt people and you can't hurt people. You don't hurt people when you intention with your intentions. If you're telling someone something that's going to help them, it's going to help fulfill their lives, and they are hurt by it, you're not hurting them. The way they're receiving what you're saying is hurting them. I remember crying from something my husband said. You notice I don't ever say ex-husband because it's no such thing as that. And I was crying, and he said, all the women in your, because we've been knowing each other since we were kids. He said, all the women in your family are crying. That crying is just the way y'all women control men. And I was amazed. My mind was like, wait a minute. I could see it. I could see it instantly what he was saying. And I went in my room and I said, okay. So I went in my room and I thought about that thing and I meditated on that thing. And I haven't cried since. And that was like in my, late 20s or early 30s. I haven't cried for that reason. I cried when my mom passed away. But crying like I normally do, because I was a crybaby. I might be a fire sign, but you know, fire brings water. I could walk in your house and you looking at a sad story and I start crying. I don't even know what the story is about. The divine fire comes into you. Truth brings that. Excuse me. The fire behind your will is the fire you turn on by making yourself a vessel of God, a vessel of the Creator, a vessel of Nebuchadnezzar, a vessel of Allah, a vessel of the Great Spirit. And what does it mean by making? By making means you're submitting, because you already are made that way. But you're agreeing with, you're saying to God, okay, God, I agree with you. I'm gonna stop fighting it. You do certain things to make the divine fire come into you. Kundalini rising, for one thing, opens that up. Going on these fasts and eating differently during the different cycles wakes that up. Cleaning your colon out. Like we are some serious colon cleansers in this organization. And we clean our colon out. We're always cleaning it out. Because sometimes we're living in a very stressful environment in North America. And you want to keep that flow going. Anybody who's ever raised a child or breastfed, you know that every time that child nurses, right after that, it passes its bowels. It's not a day, it's not an hour. It's within the next 30 minutes, they'll clean out. So what happened? We're supposed to do that forever. Why don't we do that forever? Because we're living in an environment that's full of stress. We get stressed without even knowing we're stressed. You walk out your house and be stressed. You look at the television and get stressed. You drive the car. I used to be crazy about driving. I ain't crazy about driving no more. Because people don't drive anymore. They just want to be aggressive and take over the highway like they own it, you see. But that's stress. That is stress. You hear about somebody you love and they got hurt or killed or their child got killed. That is stress. But when you practice the menab, then you're stress-free. And that comes from meditation. Why do we meditate? We don't meditate just to be quiet and peaceful inside. We meditate so we can go to that place whenever we are being attacked by stress.
Purge and cleanse and clear.
Exactly. So let's say, for example, when there was a time when you could say something to me and I would be very sensitive to it. And I'd be wondering, why are you talking like that? Why can't you at least talk peaceful? Through the meditation, stop, sister. Through the meditation, I don't do that anymore because that I found the peace. I found where it is. And when you can't do it any other way except through meditation. And that 10 minutes of meditation, when you extract yourself from the world, when you do the deep breathing and the breathing and drinking that water is clean you out too and help de-stress, because it takes that waste out of your cells and out of your blood that is delivered to it through stress, from the stress. And the thing that let's say, for example, I'm talking about not being stressful. Somebody might be stressful right now because I'm saying, don't be stressful. And they're saying, I'm not stressed. I ain't stressed. I'm not. You ever talk to people about being stressed and they take it, right. I'm
In
not
my
stressed.
body,
I'm not
in my body work sessions, I can have a client to lay on a table and say, no, I don't have no stress. And I go right to it. Because stress finds the little weak areas in your body and it settles. It's almost like, to give an example, you take a blanket and you shake it in the sunlight and you see all these little particles.
Yes.
They gotta land somewhere. So they land bing, bing in your neck. They land in your back. They land. And then when that blanket or that life is ruffled and those little particles, they accumulate in these areas. So, and it build up and it build up and it causes other things.
So when we speak of consciousness, or when I speak of consciousness, like people think because you dress in African clothes, you know about Africa, you know about India, you know about meditation and stuff, you conscious. No, that's not what makes you conscious. That makes you aware.
Yeah. Open, awake, yes.
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 It opens a way for the consciousness to manifest itself.
Yes.
But consciousness comes from practice, practicing the laws. It says here, it says, safely, because today is Wednesday, and Wednesday's what day did the brother say? Expand your mind day. So we're expanding our mind. Through the expansion of the mind, your awareness, your consciousness manifests itself. It says it takes a village to create a spiritual being. Let God or the oracles tell you when. They're not doing the oracles here, not living with the word of God. Yet we can open up a book that we don't know nothing about its history and say that's the word of God. And somebody said that's the only word of God. What? Who gonna tell me? Who will tell you what God's word is and that's the only word? Who has that authority? They are not doing the oracles and not living the word of God, which comes from living what Joy Yap was trying to, I'm trying to share with you what Joy Yap was saying, living the I Ching in a spiritual environment, how you should conduct yourself. Yes, you learn how to conduct yourself. We think we know how to conduct ourselves. But like I was sharing yesterday, when Baba Shangi, Baba Tonu, taught us about the moon came up in this part of the sky and the sun came, immediately I knew then that what that meant, that was a part of how to learn how to conduct myself. What was my place? That's one of the things that we as Black people don't like that phrase, because that's what the white folks put in our mind, your place. You got to stay in your place. But we didn't know where that was. His idea of our place was don't try to get in front of him. Don't try to do what he do. Don't try to live a good life. That's not your place. Don't drink out the same water fountain. I don't want to drink out that same. I don't want to go to the bathroom behind them either. I see what they do in the bathroom. See, so I didn't want to go to that hotel. All those Black hotels all around America shut down because we stopped going to them. And now these children think that we never had nothing. The children of this generation who don't know nothing about what we had. I don't want to go to that grocery store. I get better service when I go to a grocery store owned by somebody who looked like me back in the day. Back in the day, it was about service. Back in the day, it was about us being one people together. We understood, as Elijah Muhammad said, what enemy energy was attacking and confronting us every day. But now the enemy comes sweet. The enemy come nice. The enemy come like
with a smile,
to help you with a beautiful
and a pat on the back.
But at the same time, I told you this is the dichotomy day. We don't really have enemies, because when you understand that you are the manifestation of this thing we call God Almighty on earth, and what that responsibility brings, a total consciousness and awareness of your oneness with all, even the people who treat you like they're your enemy. That doesn't mean you go to sleep and let them attack you. One time somebody asked Ron Nephamin, well, if we don't have no enemy and somebody's attacking our mother or trying to rape our mother, we just supposed to stand there and let it happen? Ron Nephamin said, no, you just kill them in peace.
Said, be angry and sin not.
Yes. Yes, exactly. You know, oh, well, you came here to die, and I'm gonna leave this world, and I'm going to help you.
I'm going to help you. I made that commitment before I left. You know who I am.
You know, oh, that's right. That's right. You remember. That's right. You knew who I was before I left. You know who I am now. And woman, oh, woman. I'll get to that in a minute. For the word of God, we would be living perpetually. If it were not for the word of God, we would be living perpetually in the darkness. Consciousness is living in the light. The light means you're not going to do anything to bring discomfort and lack of peace to somebody else's life. Like, for example, you can share truth, but why would you share your truth with somebody who you can truly see that they're distraught with hearing that? Oh no, don't take my Santa Claus away. So leave them with Santa Claus.
Yeah, leave them with the Santa.
Leave them with Santa and work at it from another point of view. Teach them about what happens in the dark with your plants, and how if you don't put that seed in the ground, you're not going to reap anything that if you don't sow, you're not going to reap. Even the Bible tells you that as you reap, as you sow, so shall you reap. So why are you going to plant an orange seed and wait for an apple tree? That's ridiculous. So this is the approach. You have to learn different approaches to bring people, or to help people realize, not to bring them anywhere, to help people realize the purpose and function of this life that we have. Laws, virtues, commandments, the other religions have, but not the means to ask direct questions. Like I shared with you, my grandmother's telling me when she was doing the moaning that she was talking to God in a manner which the devil could not hear. Every culture, with the exception of European culture, have divination systems. In other words, they have a way to divine a divine connection to God. But when the European went into all of these cultures, not just Africa, they came back and said these people were heathens. And they said they worship wood and stone. They don't allow questions. I'm gonna pray for you, baby. Came back worshiping wood and stone. I remember, I don't know if I've ever told y'all this, but my culture teacher, my first one, brother Naya Bingi, said I had to sacrifice a sheep. Have you ever done it? I said, no, I ain't never sacrificed. He said, well, you have to do it before you leave this world. You got to do it. So you might as well do it now. And I said, okay, what I got to do? And he said, first of all, I'm going to get someone to take you over to New Jersey, and you're going to get the lamb or the sheep and bring it back for the imam to sacrifice it. And I didn't even know Muslims did that until he told me for the imam to sacrifice it. So I went over there, and the imam brother in the place where the sheep were, he said, just stand still, and the sheep that is for you, Allah will send him to you. He will come to you.
Right.
Just stand there and be quiet. So I stood there and I was quiet. And a few minutes later, this sheep came and laid his head on my hand. He said, that's your sheep. And we took it over to Brooklyn. And the imam in Brooklyn made the sacrifice. Now, what was interesting to me was that the lamb was bleating. That means crying, you know. It was just, oh, it was like a baby crying.
Yeah.
And I was saying, oh, should I do this? And then when the imam was ready to make the sacrifice, he didn't do it until the lamb stopped bleating. When the lamb knew it was time for it to die, to make its transition, he laid his head back like that. I'm telling you what I saw.
Wow.
He laid his head back like that. And the imam came in. Of course, I didn't want to see that part. I didn't look at it. But he called me and he said, come here, young lady, I want to show you. He said, sister, come here, sister, I want to show you the heart of your lamb. He said, the heart of my lamb was pure white. He said, that's because you have a pure heart. And the other brother, who was also a part of it, the heart of his lamb was gray. He said, the imam said, I want you to know that these lambs were given to you by the Spirit of Allah. Then he took all the blood and drained it into a tub and told me to take off my clothes and go wash in it.
Oh.
So when people be saying they was washed in the blood of the lamb, I said, no, you ain't never been with me, no. But I was washed in the blood of the lamb. There are many rituals and ceremonies that are tantamount to our people throughout the world, that because we were raised by these other people who have not a clue. It's like the older sister being raised by the baby sister. The older sister have been out and know what things going on in the world and come back home and the baby sister raised her. Just the opposite of the prodigal son. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what was your experience when you did did you do that? No, so one, for my vision, did you have to get in the tub with it? Or
I got in the tub.
So what was your overall experience when they say, like when they do a baptism and when they come up, some people say, you know, I had this experience, and or there was a change in them, but what was it for you?
Well, I've been baptized too, and honestly, there was no change in me because I already was good. So, and I'm not saying it as a bragger point, I was born like that. As I told you before, I never liked to, no lying, no stealing, no cheating. None. You give me the rules and I'm gonna be the one to make sure that they get enforced. Mm-hmm. But what I did experience, let me do the baptism first. Okay. When I sat before the deacon, he said, when the pastor asks you where you feel the Spirit of God, tell him you feel it in your heart. That was the first mistake, because you can't tell me that. How you gonna tell me to tell the pastor I feel it in my heart? That ain't where I felt it. Yeah. I said, but I don't feel it there. I feel it all over. I feel this thing that's inside of me. And if that's the Spirit of God, that's way more places than my heart. Well, just tell him it's in your heart. So that was my first disappointment. Then when we got into the back of the place where all of the children were standing in line, I was a little kid, and there was the wine thing, which didn't have wine. They had Welch's grape juice. So I just started drinking it. And so I was standing in line, I was drinking the grape juice. And when he put me in the pool, see, that means true word in Jamaica. When they put me in the pool and the preacher came down like this
Bless
to
you.
wipe the water off. I ain't like him touching me. I really didn't like it. So didn't too much come out of that for me as far as that goes. I love the church because I love to sing. I love the word, you know, all of that. I didn't even need that. So, but in the blood, it was different. Washing in that lamb's blood was like I was being delivered. When I said being delivered, it was like I was being delivered.
From head to toe? From head to toe, you had to wash in the blood?
Head to toe. But I did it. He didn't, the men didn't.
He didn't touch you.
No, they didn't touch me. They didn't even look at me. I was way in the back of the room. He told me how to do it. And you do it and you let it drain and on down and everything. And I felt transformed. I felt like something had left me. Something in me it was gone.
It's trusting the process.
Yeah, absolute trust, complete trust. It could have been in another culture. It might have been going down to the ocean and standing there, let the waves knock you down. It could be whatever, but it was absolute trust. Or a movie I saw one time where the girl had to jump in the volcano. I ain't going that far, but yes, ma'am, the feeling was transformation. It was like I was being transformed. And so when I help people over these years, that's what they tell me. They feel like they are being transformed through the things that I share and teach them. So what you're working to help us do in defining what we do, my daughter said you should say that you help people transform. You bring transformation to people. And I said, okay, so I jotted that down. That's one of the things. Then when I got initiated in the Yoruba system, that was an entirely different. Every one of these experiences have their own experiences, results. Right. I don't know how to say it, you know.
Right.
And in the Yoruba system, most of it was like you said, trusting. Well, I wasn't blindfolded in that one, but in the Yoruba system, I was blindfolded. My eyes had to be kept closed. I was not allowed to look and see what was going on. And I'm just trying, you can't tell everything, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to say that that was a trusting experience as well. But your trusting isn't just blind trust. It's a knowing trust, if I can put it that way. Among the Rastafarians, it was all the way different. Rastafari is eyes open, love, Jah Rastafari, become totally and completely aware that I and I is one, you know. And then when we say I and I, we're talking about the I in I and I and I. Well, we say you and me up here. They say I and I. Yeah, I and I. The God that is in me is the same God that's in you, the I and I. However, Sister Deidre, did you want to say something? I think I saw your hand up a while back.
No, I had comment by putting like the thumbs up or a heart or something. That's all. Yeah, but thank you.
Anyone else want to make a comment before I dance on some more words? Okay. There is a connection between the gut and the brain. There's a connection between heaven and earth. There's a connection between what they call your higher self and your lower self. That's another reason we do meditation, so that you can know that you have power. This power is, you can send it anywhere in your body. Remember the exercise we did about meet me? The whole purpose for that exercise was to help you have the experience of knowing. It's not about thinking or believing or wondering. You don't believe. If you believe, you're saying, I don't trust. You know, we say believe with the intention of saying we know, but either you know or you don't. Either you know or you believe. Either you think or you know. So we have to be precise, because the book tells you, if the book don't say nothing else, the one truth the book says was the word. The word was God. So when you speak, and you speaking less than what we consider or what we think is God, or what we know is God, or what we've experienced is God, all these various rituals I'm telling you about that I went through was just more knowing of this God that everybody talk about. And when I came out of that blood bath, I can talk. When I came out of that blood bath, I didn't have nothing to say, nothing. It was like a permanent meditation. And
How old were you then, Mama?
I was about 28, 29 years old.
Mm-hmm. On that, on that, it's 9 o'clock. I want to say to social media, Facebook and YouTube, we are now going to be only in the Zoom room. So if you'd like to continue this conversation with us, go to ElizabethVisionaryConference.org and just get your Zoom ticket and come on and join us. And you'd never have to do that again because you just use that same number. So we say peace to you. Have a wonderful day. Come on and join us, ElizabethVisionaryConference.org, and peace out.
Peace out. What I want to say about that? Oh, remember in the Bible when it says when the death angel passed around, you put the blood of the lamb on the door?
Yeah.
Well, in my African culture class, they taught us that the blood they were really talking about was the female, the mother. It symbolizes the mother's protection of the house, the mother's protection of the family. You see, there's two protections. The father's protection is the physical protection. He will beat your ass if you come up in there trying to hurt his family.
Mm-hmm.
The mother's protection is the spiritual protection. We're supposed to be so strong that the person ain't gonna think about trying to come up in there. See, that's the protection of the mother. We don't live the power of motherhood. You know, I told a lot of times we joke at how the white girls be screaming and running in the movies and how the black girl turn around and fight. So that tells you they know, you see. So our spiritual energy projects from our mind and our hearts to protect that family. When your son, especially those you have sons, when your son goes out into the world and he may say, oh, mom, you to protect, you're over to protect, you know what he knows not. That's why you do it. It came down from way back yonder when a black boy would go in the neighborhood and don't come back home because somebody done grabbed him and lynched him. A mother knows. When Emmett Till's a mother let that picture be put on the front page of the Afro all over America, I will never forget that. That's imprinted in my mind for probably for many lives, you see. Because we don't get to see that stuff anymore. These generations that have come after our generation are under a delusion. The delusion. And it's our duty to wake these people up. There's a song that came on years ago, wake them, shake them, don't let them sleep too late. Get up early in the morning, meet me at the judgment gate. You see, oh God, I wish I let's be not worried about wishing. Sharing your spiritual life has to be your priority in relationships with people. You have people say, well, I don't talk about religion. I tell them I don't talk about religion either.
That's right.
That's
right.
I don't talk about no religion. I talk about truth. I talk about spirituality. I'm doing my job. Your job to stop me, you're in the wrong place. You're standing in the wrong place.
Oh, can I just say something? Good morning.
Yes,
Elizabeth.
yes.
Good morning, Grace.
How you doing?
I'm so awesome. Oh my God, I love what you just said. We don't talk about religions. I've really gotten the two most important things we have been programmed not to talk about: spirituality and politics.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Elijah Muhammad's trainees used to say politics is politricks. Politics.
That's right. That's right. That's what it is.
And the man who calls that place where he's standing, the pulpit, it said they're pulling you into the pit of hell. See, so people don't understand language. We speak this language, but we have not done the research to know what it is we're really saying. She's applauding. to do the research, because Jesus didn't teach from a pulpit. He went out there in the street.
He walked the land.
Walked the land.
Yes.
Oh, I'm
And
screaming.
Go
I'm
ahead.
screaming so hard again. Oh my God, you ain't gonna never find Jesus up in no mega church.
Nowhere in it. Oh man, don't give me. I can talk to you about that too, but I'm going to keep on my. I'm staying right here on my point. Oh my God, I'll tell y'all about the mega church business later in this experience, because I got
Queen,
info.
To have religion is a form of controlling a people. To have this thing called religion.
Well, the word "re," you have to look it up. "Re" means again.
Again, right.
And legion means to bind. To bind, to tie up again.
Again.
Laugh it again.
Right.
I met this woman I told y'all about named Ayaba, who told me that one day my hair was gonna be so nappy I won't be able to pull a comb through it, and I laughed at her. I said, nobody hair get that nappy. I know you lying now. And she said, you will see. And so in America, I was the third person with locks. That was that was almost 60 years ago. Lordy, wait a minute. How long ago was 1970 till now? See, and I was told, don't uncover my locks. Let them stay covered up with the gele. And after 16 years, the Bible told me, okay, you can take your scarf off now. You can take it off. So Black people can see what their true self looks like. But he didn't want me to walk around with it when it was first coming out in all those years, because he said, we in America don't respect creed. We don't respect culture. We don't respect the rules. So keep it tied up.
So all that would have got into your locks, which are antennas, and destroyed you, really. No, it wouldn't have destroyed me, but it might have destroyed some people. Yeah. Who am I talking to? It would have made me talk. But no, in general, if you have your locks and they're covered, they're protected from the outside elements. And that includes the energy. I'll give you that. It's just like, give you that. It's just like covering to walk in a certain place that you know that is not, you don't want to carry that energy with you. Or that energy, how you say, it looks for a host. Well, part of the growing up under the covenant of Rastafari is that not only are there extension of that, but they're also extension of your brain. So if you have an attitude that people can influence your power base or your energy by their negative thinking, then you're going to receive that. But those 16 years, I was also being taught and being trained certain things so that when they did come down, they were so long that people couldn't even think about nothing but be amazed. So I guess that was part of it too. They were all the way on the floor. When I was at home, I would twist them and do all kinds of stuff with them. And so I should have taken pictures of some of them style, but I didn't want to wear it out in the street because I didn't want to influence people to look at it from the point of view of style and fashion. I wanted them to look at it, not what I wanted, but I would have preferred they looked at it from the spiritual perspective and know that this is, it has to come from God, not from me. And I didn't know what they were going to look like because we didn't twist them or anything. I didn't know what they were going to look like. And so what I learned spiritually is that you cannot predict what God's plan is for your life. You don't know what it's going to be. And when my locks first started growing, they grew straight up like that. And then they fell over like that. And it was like a tree branch. And I was just amazed. And it was my own hair and my own head, but it was a secret. It was God's secret. It was nature's secret. It was the ancestors' secret. Of course, now they're all the way down flat. But I'm just sharing that to say that when you go through an initiation process, when you go through a cultural initiation process, you are hooking up with your ancestors. That's the primary reason why I promote initiating, because you're hooking up with your ancestors. We don't have to walk a road not knowing. We don't have to walk a road
getting surprised at this turn or that turn, because the ancestors are guiding the whole process. And I have a saying, this is my saying, that the further back you go, the closer you are to God, because you're going back to the original, the origin. You're going back to the origin. The ori is your primary spirit, your primal spirit. It's okay to learn these things. Look at me, I'm 78 years old. I'm still here, ain't going nowhere, ain't nothing happened to me. I didn't die, I didn't get cursed.
You didn't get struck down by lightning.
I didn't get struck down by lightning. And Nina Simone, shoot, I was in her apartment one night and it was thunder and lightning. And she was telling me, I don't know how we always got all kind of conversation about prayer. And I don't know, I got into it, but I said, oh Lord, I hope this lightning don't come up in here. She said, what? Oh Lord, you hope. She said, ain't God your father? I said, oh Lord, I don't know what, because she was fierce. And I said, oh yes. She said, well, you can talk to God any way you want if he's your father. And child, that woman started cussing and talking to God about this, that, and the third, and the fourth. Look at sister, she been applauding all day. But thank you, sister, because all I want to bring is reality. That's what the Rasta taught me. Reality.
I'm clapping because it's confirmation for what I have learned and read. So it's not often that I find somebody who confirming what I already know. So I'm like, come on.
That's what God does. That's what the ancestors do. We are energy beings inside of this physical form. And we are brought together by way of this energy. And that energy is truth. And that truth is given to us by way of our ancestors. We didn't just wake up one day and here. We were made through our mother's womb, through her blood. I told my daughter years ago when she was little, I said, let me tell you something. That blood in your body, that's mine. That meat on your bone, that's mine. Them bones under that meat, that's mine. Those eyeballs you got, that's mine. Yo, no, I went through her whole body. I said, all of that is mine. I sacrificed my body for you to have that body. So you think I'm gonna tolerate you acting crazy to me? Mm-hmm. That ain't gonna happen. So she was like, she shut down after. Don't get me wrong, she was not a bad girl, but she was like her mom. She gonna speak her piece. But I just want her to learn how to speak her piece. Everybody all right? Y'all okay?
Yeah.
Everybody want to take a breath? Want to breathe?
I like your glasses. How you got them fixed up there?
That's because I ain't gonna pay all that money for no bifocal. Actually, the real truth is I usually wear what do you call them things? Contacts. And then I wear a pair of glasses for reading. But you know, things kind of high these days.
I hear you.
So the contacts are at the doctor's office.
We're gonna do our icebreaker. We do a little icebreaker here. What y'all drinking? What you drinking? What you got in your tea?
H2O today.
I saw Queen Aduni with her H2O. Yeah. During this time here, it's 90-something degrees. Yes, hydrate the body.
Yeah.
I'm drinking water too. Some hot water, some lemon, a pinch of cayenne pepper, and just a little honey for taste. Break up the acidics in the morning.
Yeah. And see,
I just had some black tea, honey, and then of course my water.
Yes.
Yes. My alkaline water.
Yeah, your aqua.
Yeah.
Aduni, am I being too heavy today? Because I ain't never seen. I was looking in your face how you're looking like, wow. You okay?
Yeah. I'm like Omani, just like whoa. No.
I knew Queen all these years and I'm still amazed. I'm still learning. I walk around with my little pen and pad like a little reporter.
I know, right. I'm just sitting at her feet.
Absorb. Lord, and that's what it is, Elizabeth, women.
Yeah.
We absorb, because we're earth, we absorb all this.
Yeah. Well, I know the heavens are rejoicing and the angels are rejoicing and the ancestors are rejoicing because of this, because of what you have done, because you have obeyed. And not only did you obey, you acted on it. You listened, you obeyed, and you acted. That's what the Africans say, obedience. There, my girl, now Willie.
Good day.
Obedience is better than sacrifice. Go ahead.
So I'm drinking water with chlorophyll and mint.
You're strong.
And
Cleansing.
and I'm drinking stress relief tea.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Stress relief.
Yes.
I'm laughing at something she shared with me about stress.
And the message on it's a yogi tea. The message says the worst enemy we have is our own fear.
Ooh,
That's
that's everything we've been
there.
talking about. We've been
Yeah.
talking about a fear. We've been talking about stress, and it's so appropriate that
Yep.
these little things are popping up to validate that we're on the right subject and
We're
the
singing
same
the right
page.
song.
Yeah,
Same page.
the same
And that's the
page.
amazing thing for me with this group. I don't care whose day it is. We're all in tune with the day. We're all in tune. It's like the ancestors, like the creators, delivered to us what the energy of the person's program is going to be. I mean, everybody was in on that brother yesterday. That brother was,
I
I'd
know
love
it.
to
Oh my
talk to him
goodness.
myself.
He was good. Great.
He was really good.
Yeah, and what I really appreciate is that when a person comes on, like the brother, he had to feel comfortable and safe
Yes.
and to be open, that it was okay to be open and to share without judgment or accusation and all that kind of stuff. It was just, it was, yeah, that was good. That was
Yeah,
good.
he
That
felt
was,
safe. Yes, he felt
that was
safe.
a full 2 hours. He was in that conversation. Excuse me, and we were as well. I learned a lot yesterday because that's a world that I didn't know. I knew it existed, as I had said, but just to wanting to understand it more. So I heard it from the male side, and I'm still looking forward to Mama Ayaba to teach from the female side of the sisterhood of that relationship and stuff. But yeah, just so appreciative of what's happening. Yeah, that's all I can say. There's so much information. This Friday I have a slew of natural hair practitioners, coming on. And these are people who have been in the industry for way over 20 years, and
wow.
just sharing about the business of it, not how to do hair, but the whole business of it and some of the struggles that we've had to endure and the victories of that and where we want to go. So, I mean, the topics are unlimited. I mean, even we had the flash we had yesterday. The booby flash. Yes.
Well, they call it the boob tube.
The boob tube. So, yeah, just amazing.
I'm sorry I missed that, boy. I need that laugh.
Yeah.
I know that put a spark in the day.
And then I didn't even see it. I was probably flipping over, because I flipped through to see if people have joined and things like that. So I missed it. And when they were saying that, could I control the camera, Mama Yaba's camera, I was like, what? What? And Hetheru and At Peace were just going crazy and stuff.
Yeah, calm down. We walk around with our breasts showing at home.
Yeah.
There you go.
Calm down.
There you go.
And then they want to know. They want to know.
So cool about it. What? Like.
What? You never seen those things before?
Look.
No. Celebrating. We were celebrating. Just didn't know Ayaba wanted to be on camera. Maybe if you need to, turn your camera off. If not, we didn't have no problem with it. I ain't got no problem with it.
Yeah, right.
Beautiful body.
Y'all are trip. But there was a time when I was a little skinny little girl, used to sit away for the little things in the back of the comic book to gain weight. Then as I grew, I didn't have no breasts. And I used to be said, why is this happening to me? My body's like a boy, and I wanted breasts and all of that. And then there was an exercise that they had on the thing that for the, you do like that.
Yeah.
Exercise. Yeah. You the same thing brothers do for their paps.
Yeah, their pecs. Yeah.
Pecs.
Yeah.
Women can do the same thing for their breasts. Just do that little pull-up exercise and they'll take care of themselves. And also back to
there you go. Go ahead, Hadaru. Hadaru giving the demonstration. Show us, sister, man.
That's how Hadaru. That's your job. Show us how to do it.
And medically speaking, she's working the chest, not the breast. It's that chest muscle that helped develop the breast muscle. There you go. There you go.
Well, anyway, now that I'm older, I say, don't hurry God and don't worry God, because it was already in the plan. If I had had those kind of breasts, I'd probably be crying now. So, be thankful. That's another thing. Be thankful. Be thankful. Be thankful.
Be thankful of this rented shell. It just in case that divine being within it that's navigating and moving it around.
Yeah, be thankful. You got legs. I never wanted to show my legs, so I was glad when we got African culture and I could wear long clothes. Ooh, I was so happy. But after a while, I started, when my cousin was born, and he had spina bifida and his legs didn't work. His legs were just dead flesh. He had dragged behind him. He walked mostly with his hand. I really appreciated my legs. I said, wow, I've been, that's mighty selfish of me. And I gave up that thought. So yeah.
When I first met my husband, met my husband, he's very tall. He's over 6'4", and he had the darn skinniest legs. And I would hold it. Then one day I told him, I said, boy, your legs are sure little. And he looked around with a solemn kind of look and he says, they serve the purpose. I was like, he said it wasn't about looks to him. He said they served the purpose.
He was stronger than I was in them days. Shoot. I'm going to high school and everybody developing but me. I developed this. This is what I developed, crossing my arms. But anyway, that was then, this is now. Tehuti guides Heru. As I shared with you all before, Tehuti is the energy cycle within us that is wisdom. And Heru is will, the will, like the will of God, not I'm willing to meet you at such and such a time or place, but that which is keeping you alive because you will to be alive. So directly eliminates, Tehuti guides Heru and thereby directly eliminates evil in the lives of man. Some people don't really realize what evil is, but we're going to break it on down right now. Just because you see a man as an alcoholic or drunk or a drug addict, he's not evil, he's just weak. He don't know certain things. A man cuss you out, he's not evil. What's evil is what Donald Trump and those people do. What's evil is when you go into another people's culture and demean it and try to make them think that what they have is worthless, to the point where they will bow down to you and give up what God has given them.
Rob and steal from it. Mm-hmm.
Say what?
No, I just said when they rob and steal from,
change
the name and cheat and lie and act like they created their own. That's evil.
Watch out, here comes the bull. Directly eliminates evil in the lives of man. So your wisdom, thinking things through, meditating, helps you to eliminate evil in your life. Set is a diluted Heru faculty. The source of evil is a deceived self. And as you know, these entities on the earth practice deception like a crown that they wear on their head. If you believe you know something and you don't, then you are deluded in one perspective and deceiving others and yourself. If you think you know something, but you don't, then you are deluded. You're being deceptive and you are deluded. How do you know? No, the same way, meditation, studying, as the Bible tells you, study to show yourself approved, not before man. A lot of people stop that quote right there. Study to show yourself approved. It's not what it said. It says study to show yourself approved before God. So the 3 Ds are deflection, deception, and delusion. In Christianity, the devil is equal to evil as the deceiver. Deception is the essence of evil. The truly believer, they truly believe they are appointed or called by God to their high position. Hexagram number 6, y'all hear me talk about the E Jane, maybe 2 or 3 weeks down the road, I'll bring that to you. And I was gonna ask someone to give me a question, and I'll do it right here in front of you on the screen, and you can testify or verify if that question has been answered. Hexagram 6, a person believes he is right. Delusion that we are human beings. I already said to y'all a long time ago when we first started, you're not human, you are divine. And you take that word divine, you see how we just a few minutes ago talked about how we all be pulled together, we have all come together. That means we're all on the vine. Divine, how come that word is divine? And a vine is a thing that has many things on it that's joined together. Watermelon for one thing. Our ancestors worked on rising themselves. I didn't say raising. Our ancestors worked on rising themselves. And what's the greeting we give, especially you are doing it every morning? Grand what?
Grand rising.
Grand
Rising.
Yes.
Our ancestors worked on rising themselves toward completing their evolution to divinity. Human is just a stage in your growth. If you believe that is what you are. That's the power.
Where are you reading from?
I'm reading from the notes from my classes.
Oh,
Set Society. This is from our Pa'ut Medu meditation.
okay.
Medu, I got so much knowledge running through my head. I gotta. Okay, so Medu Neter means word of God. Neter is God, and Medu is word. So God's word.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, some people pronounce it Medu Neter.
Yeah, I think I have that book. Yeah.
Look, Ron Neff Amen told us when I first got into the organization, he said, okay, y'all who have had the Medu Neter for 30 years, you can take it out now and dust it out and dust it off. I had to laugh because I had mine for 30 years. I hadn't read it yet either. But I'm reading it now.
You said human is a stage in your life. Human is
in your growth.
Oh, in your growth.
Your growth. It's just a stage in your growth. Like we talk about adolescent stage. The anthropologist people, they talk about the different names that they give the evolutionary stages.
Yeah.
You know some of those names. I don't keep up with it, but the different names in the evolutionary stage of man, and now we're supposedly in the human stage. But you won't hear them talk about it because this is coming from Africa. This is coming from ancient Kemet. This is coming from the ancient ones. That human is just a phase, and as you evolve out of that phase, I know you've heard people talk about we're in the 5th dimension. All this kind of esoteric thought that is being transmitted and delivered to us by those other than us. As always, they want to take the lead, not really knowing what they're talking about. So above the human stage is, I just say for lack of time, is the spiritual stage. So you're going, Homo sapien. You're going from Homo sapien to Homo spiritualis. If you believe that is what you are, and you have no stage to grow into because you are deluded. The devil is one who deceives, who tells lies. The devil lives in our house. The devil lives in our minds. If you don't know how to know, then you are deluded. Words that have no counterpart in reality. deluded that things have power over you, the loss of mental acuity and sharpness, the belief that things have the power to produce stress. Things cannot produce stress. You produce it by the delusion in your mind that the thing is producing the stress. You have laid the foundation to be controlled by your emotions. You have laid the foundation to be controlled by your sensuality. Just like yesterday, he told me some things I didn't know existed either, because I came through polygamy by way of culture. I didn't come through polygamy by way of the outside world. And the cultural part of polygamy means you go through a process. You go through a process that was given to you and handed down generationally. So I remember I was telling Hawa last night, I remember when the Caucasians first started putting out in public about wife swapping. And that was, I can't even tell you how many years, that was over 50 years ago. And they were talking about wife swapping. And I said, well, I hope Black people don't never get into that. But of course, now they have. See, it's hard for me to talk about this because the approach that we have towards polygamy is that God oversees it, the ancestors oversee it, and you can't break certain rules, because then the priest will enter into your life, the Babalawo will enter into your life and call you to task for what you do. You can't do certain things, like that part I read about you not supposed to hurt people. He shouldn't have had to go through all of that he went through, because he agreed it's okay for his wife to go with other men, but he wasn't. He talked about how if he felt inside and how it was tearing at him. That's not what you do. You don't do that to a person that you love. We are held accountable for all of that stuff. You know, that's why in cultural societies concerning polygamy, even when the man wants another wife, he got to go to wife number one.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
He can't just jump out there and bring a chicken in the house.
Yeah.
It don't work like that. And wife number one and number two can get together and go to him and say, we saw number three, we think you're going to consider marrying her. That's how open it is. And why the woman, the wife don't go out, and there are societies, or there is at least one I knew of, where a woman had more than one husband. It was called polyandry. But she had more than one husband because there wasn't enough women to go around. So somebody had to take them. See, and they lived in a manner in which neither husband was put in a position to confront one another. And each husband knew what their relationship was with this woman. She didn't have 20 husbands. She might have had 2. I see you, sister. See, but we'll talk about that another time. I just want to introduce it to you to let you know that that brother yesterday should not have had to suffer like that. But that's because under the cultural system, it is a system. And even before we get married, we have to go to the sage, to the Babalawo, to the high priest, and divine if this is the man we should be with, or if this is the woman he should be with, or if polygamy is the direction in which they should go. I know a couple in the source said they didn't get permission to get married to each other for 10 years. And they didn't get married. After those 10 years, whatever was in them that had to be worked out, after those 10 years, they got married. I sang at their wedding. It was beautiful. And they have a beautiful, So I'm just saying, a lot of things we go through, we don't have to go through. We go through them because we don't have the system. We're afraid of initiation. We're afraid to know that we can know. These Caucasians have given us a system that is so diabolical and so totally opposite, meaning in opposition to the way God gave us our life by way of the ancestors. I mean, I love learning new stuff. Shoot, I can live longer that way. The more I know, the longer I can live. You are a divine being, period. You don't give into your emotion or your sensuality if you don't think you're human. So if you think you're a divine being, you already have set it up in your DNA in your blood, in your mind, that there's certain things you cannot do because you are a divine being. You can't deliberately go and take something that does not belong to you without permission. Because permission sets up a positive flow of energy between you and the other person. Not because you ain't old enough to make up your own mind. It's not about that. You are a divine being, period. Happiness comes from being at peace. That's what I want. That's the point I'm trying to get to. Happiness comes from being at peace no matter what's going on in the world. I hear people talking about, oh my God, they're fighting over there in wherever that place is, Ukraine. People starving all over the world. Oh my God, that war might come here. Why am I going to set that up? I don't want no war to come here. I ain't setting up no war. It's my power that's making it happen. And you think they got power? Look, black mothers, you got the power and you better know it. You have it. So use it. And we're going to learn how to use it better than we do. You were born under the control of the lower part of your being, the animal principle within you. It's not that an animal is within you. The animal principle. What are you living in when you're first created in the mama's womb? You're living in water, like water. Fish. When you come out, you ain't living in no water. The reason for spirituality is to evolve you into a divine being. That's why we practice spirituality. Not so we can go back and relax and say, oh, well, now I'm not being bothered by what's going on in the world. The fact that you say you're not being bothered is you being bothered. Evil in your mind will cause you to do bad things to yourself and others. What's one of the baddest things that we used to do to ourselves, or we have done to ourselves, and some people are still doing to ourselves? Eating meat. Meat that you did not grow. Meat that you don't even know what's in it, but you trust that it's all right. Cigarettes. Ooh. Smoking it. You trust that it's all right. You understand what I'm saying? Sensual habits that you have learned from other people that you trust is all right. Go back to before you had sex. Go back to thinking about what you thought it was about before somebody showed you something about it. What about what you thought it was, what you should do? Women have been so submissive to men about it that they'll let things happen that they know they ain't supposed to do. They're saying, hey, man, I'm not comfortable with this, but they won't say it to the man. I mean, whatever it might be. I'm not thinking about anything specific. The 11 laws give you a master principle in every situation. In your mind, work out a way to be at peace. The greatest thing to do for another person is to pray for them. The greatest thing you can do for another person is to pray for them. And I'm gonna bring you the, I'm telling you, man, yesterday was a wonderful day. I went to my bookcase and I said, what is this book laying down here? And it was my book on the Hebrew language. I've been wanting to share that book with y'all for months. And I didn't even know where the book was. And the Spirit led me to it yesterday. So next time we get together, I'm going to share with you the word pray and break it down for you in Hebrew. And you will see that every word, every letter in a word is the word itself through Hebrew. The greatest thing to do for another person, not just pray, but image them. Go to your meditation and image that person being rich, having all the money or whatever they exchange they use to have everything they need in life. Do a meditation that will bring peace to you and the other person. Somebody you have words with, somebody you're not, who every time they show up, they bring some crap. Well, meditate and visualize that person coming in with no crap. Meditate them coming in with high words, with peaceful words, with comments that make you feel good. It will work. I'm telling you this from experience. This is no mumbo jumbo. It will work. I don't talk about stuff that I have not done. In treating people with herbs, I will have taken those herbs to tell you how they're going to do in your body. And sharing with you about this meditation thing and the results, I'm telling you because I did it myself. I always ask the doctor, did you take that medicine? No. Why and when to do it, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to do it, not knowing why to do it, not knowing when to do it, can be a source of stress for people who have not mastered themselves. That brother was under stress because he did not appreciate what was going on with his wife, even wanting to walk out the door to be with another man. I heard the first people I heard say that was some white girls. Well, if men can do it, why can't we do it? And of course, you know, we're like sponges. We soak up whatever somebody else say. I ain't want to do it. If a man can do it, he got a penis, he running around shaking it, he do whatever he want to do with it. That's why God gave it to him, like the sister said yesterday, I think it was Heru, that he was made to procreate and make more babies and all this kind of business. Well, perhaps so, but I will tell you this. I have learned, especially in my older years, what the power of a woman can do to a man. And y'all got to learn it so you can be happy with it, because it's a wonderful thing. You can be at peace in any situation through application of the 11 law. Okay, I'm gonna leave that right there and jump over here before the day is over. Love and order. This one, sister, is coming from Kundalini Yoga. Also by Ra Unefa Amin. Okay, I had the page set up now with my all over the world self. Oh man, it's so much. I can't give you all of this. The knowledge and program stored in your guru chakra. Number one, the information that reveals God's being and nature can only come from God. True knowledge comes from God. Only God can judge. Acknowledgement of God's being enables the initiate to receive direct guidance from God. There are people who say they don't believe in God, so they don't acknowledge God, so they don't get direct messages from God. Like, we're parents. We ain't gonna break it on our kids and force them to do things or understand things that we're trying to bring to them. We drop a few seeds of knowledge in their minds and meditate that they get it. And the book said, as above, so below. So evidently, if that's what we do, that's what God does. You can take that to the bank, I promise you. Either you know these laws and you understand these laws, appreciate them and respect them and live them, or you don't. It's okay if you don't. I have no problem with an atheist. When I talk to an atheist, I talk science. I talk the stuff that he can handle.
The language he understands.
The language he understands. You see, I talk common sense to him, to her, whoever it might be. But for us, Elizabeth, everybody in here is spiritual. Everybody in here has some kind of relationship to acknowledge this power that dwells within us, the I am sisters. You know, to enable you to serve as a living temple of God, God has shared with you its divine attributes. You must possess these capabilities of God if God is going to act in the world through you. Through you. And that's a question you can ask yourself. Is this what God would do? Remember the Christian people used to say that a long time ago? See, what would God do? Wasn't that the question? What would Jesus do?
What would Jesus do?
See, but before you can know what Jesus would do, you got to know what this God is and that it is. It is. And not a belief. I'm not talking about belief. I'm talking about hardcore evidence. Like I'm going before the courtroom. I'm going to prove there's God. You must possess these capabilities if God is going to act in the world through you. Your faculties must be able to support its demands. Therefore, many religions have taught that God has made man in his likeness. Your preparation for this role is the work that you are performing in your spiritual quest. You must prepare, in other words, you must prepare yourself to represent God on earth. You must prepare yourself to identify to the world what God looks like. You know, what does God look like? The Bible says you were made in the likeness of, well, it says of God, but it never told us what God looked like. And we never asked.
God looked like, my God looked like this.
God looks like love. God looks like peace. God looks like happiness.
Yes.
God looks like joy. And then somebody would say, well, the Old Testament talk about the God of war. No, the Old Testament didn't talk about the God of war. The Old Testament talk about people who went to war and said God said it. Because the rules that was given to them in the war, in the fight, were don't take the woman, don't take the women. And what the first thing they did? They took the women. There were rules in the engagement of war. And they broke all the rules, like they're still doing to this day. See, anyway, although the laws are already stored in the Hindu chakra, the Hindu is not in charge of the regulation of your subconscious, what people call your subconscious, which is the direct determinant of our behavior. Regulation of the psyche is the function of the mind, the manas chakra. So y'all might not have heard of some of these chakras. These are the ones they don't talk about, which must first be regulated by the Hindu chakra.
What is the Hindu?
You can go online and find all this stuff.
Okay. I was just asking, what is the Hindu chakra?
Well, what I'm going to do.
Or where is it at?
What I'm going to do is, what? What'd you say?
Mama, I'll go get them. I'll go online and go get them for us and put it in the post.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Okay. And if you give me your email address, I will put them in. I will give them to you, and you can share with everybody too. Head Heru. Head Heru. Since you're gonna be Miss Head Heru, you're gonna have to do the work.
You know she's up to it. You know she can handle it.
She is full of it. She is it for real, for real. What time is it, sis?
9:47.
Oh, okay, we're doing good. We're doing good.
I want you to, I know it's to pivot back. You don't have to do it today.
No, I'll do whatever you want. What you want?
I just want to know, you made a statement probably an hour or so ago about the husband not being an ex.
Oh, why I said it's not an ex?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Because one thing is that the two came together in spirit as well as in flesh. And you will always be connected to his spirit.
Yes.
Whether you liked him, whether he ended up being a crazy idiot or whatever he might have done. Because as you age, your understanding kicks in. And the Bible says, have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And as we talk about Black men and what they go through, he was a Black man too, unless he was a white man. But he was a Black man too. And you begin to understand, maybe that's why he did that. Maybe that's why he thought like that. Because we married these guys, but as you know, the biological rule says women are 7 years older than men of your same age.
Yes.
So you 22, he 22, but you're really 29. So that's the reason why I say so, because you're still bound to that person in spirit. I can feel my husband, the brother I married, man, we were children when we met. So I'm going to feel him anyway, whether I married him or not, because we have a bond as children. I have friends, and I'm sure you do too, friends from a long time ago that you pick up and you can feel, or you think about them and bam, they call you, or you run into them in the street and you say, oh my God, I was just thinking about you. See, so if you got a bond with people you didn't marry, you definitely still have a bond with somebody you did marry. You know, that's why I say that. That's why I don't.
You can't erase it. I've been with my husband, and I say husband too, even though he's transcended in 2019. It's like You can't erase it. You can push it back in that file cabinet, but time from time it will surface. Something will surface. Some essence of his will surface.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, in things that you shared, you learn stuff too. Just like I told you about what my husband said about tears. I never forget it, and I share that with other people. I've got so many little cute, little nice little things that he said. You know, but that wasn't where the problem in our marriage with one another in the United States of America is our lack of knowledge.
Mhm.
The Bible says we perish for lack of knowledge.
Yes.
He didn't know how to be no husband. We didn't know how to be a wife. We didn't know what that was. We only saw our mom and daddy, but we didn't see everything. We didn't hear every discussion that they had.
That's like two people get together to try to figure it out.
And not really try to figure out, we were forced to try to figure it out. It isn't like we really made a choice to try to figure it out. We didn't even know what it was we was trying to figure out. I remember I made this food for my husband and I carried it in there to him. He ate it and everything. But after a while, we got into a conversation about knowing one another. And in the conversation, he said, "You don't know me." He said, "You fixed my food. You didn't ask me if that's what I wanted." I felt this big. You know, because I had never even thought about asking him if that's what he wanted. I knew he ate fish, I knew he ate greens, I knew he ate potatoes. So I knew he always looked like he enjoyed it. So that's the basis on which I fixed it. But I'm gonna kill these cats. Get out of here. I got cats. Howard told me to use water to chase them away from things where they ain't supposed to be. But if we had had the consultations, if we had had the sage, if we had had the babalawo, if we had had the high priest, if we had had the counseling, if we had done it by the way our ancestors did it, and know that we weren't marrying each other, we were two families getting married. And if we had gone and the brother had gone and sat down with my mother and father, like my baby's daddy did, he came all the way from New York to sit down with my parents and talk about him being my husband. He came and talked to my father about what he would be as a husband to me. Nobody never did that, you know. So he had a cultural foundation and he brought it with him to the table. We don't have it. So what are we bringing to the table? We're bringing our emotions for the most part. We're bringing how we feel about it, what we think about it, not what we know about it. And when our children get married, they don't come and sit down with us and counsel with us to find out what we need, what we have to share with them about this thing. That's part of the culture as well. That is the culture, because now you're getting ready to create a whole nother unit of people. What do you need to know? You need to know this, you need to know that. And I remember late at night, my daughter was nursing, boy, that girl could nurse. And she had nursed one breast dry, and then I put on this one, and this one was getting dry, and the sun was coming up, and I was saying, why ain't I mad with her? She keeping me up all night. She keeping me from sleeping. She taking every bit of the energy out of me that I got. Why am I not angry with her? Like we get angry with the man who gave us the baby. I had a revelation that night, and I said, I will never, ever do that again. I ain't gonna get mad with him. I would never get angry. Well, I never got angry with our stepfather ever anyway. But if I were to get angry, I wouldn't do it now, because I understand that the one who gave you the baby has as much value as the baby. You know, see, these things I think are not what the average woman thinks. A lot of times that I can say that because I was in a doctor's office one day and these women were just talking about how terrible this man was and how this man ain't do the baby. I said, stop, I can't take it no more. They looked at me like I was crazy. I said, y'all talking about these men. This is the people that bring you comfort. What are you doing? This man brought you love. This man gave you children. This man comforted you and put his hand on your cheek when you wanted to be touched and sucked your breast when you wanted to be thrilled. And I was carrying on in that doctor's office. And them ladies was looking at me with their eyes wide open. And they said, sister, we never thought about it like that. I said, that's the problem. You don't think about the good. You're always thinking about the bad and the evil, and you put that on the man, and eventually y'all gonna break up. Because nobody can take all them negative thoughts, you know. So it's training. I am grateful to God. I'm grateful to my ancestors for giving me this destiny. And if I ask for this, then I'm grateful to me for asking for it, because I certainly have been getting it, you know. A lot of times when we get the readings, like the readings in the I Ching, for example, and it'll tell us to stay in a situation that we want to get out of. But we stay in it because, like I was sharing with, I think it was yesterday, with you all yesterday, what appears to be a bad situation is God giving us an opportunity to become divine beings of making the right choice. You can choose to scream and holler in anger, or you can choose to go and be at peace with yourself and let that person have, that's their problem. That's not yours. That's not ours. He can't get it. It ain't your job to give it to him. It's your job to meditate for him to get it. And it will come to him, because you, as the queen of the house and the goddess representing God on earth, the unit through which God comes into the planet. And believe me, God knows. Same God is in you that's in that man. The same God in that man is in you. And God knows. But we have to do work. The work is the part. You know, if you throw a seed in the ground, it's going to grow up something. But that ain't going to make it grow if you don't throw the seed in the ground. If you don't get them rocks out the way and those dead roots and the types of herbs that can eat up the root of the plant, it ain't nothing good going to happen. It's work. It's the work. And people say worship. But many, many years ago, the brother taught me in New York, it's not worship, sister. It's workship. You're on the ship and you gotta work to keep it up.
On the ship and you gotta work.
You gotta work. It's a beautiful system that this creator has set up for us. My heart did some defibrillation thing a couple of years ago. I got in the bed, I didn't feel nothing. I was relaxing. And I went to the bathroom, I came back, I heard I said, uh-oh. Okay, I can eat herbs, I can do all that stuff, I can meditate, I can exercise, I can do yoga. I don't know how to stop this. So I went down to my sister and I told her, touch my throat. And she said, I'm calling 911. Went to the hospital, and 15 minutes later, after they hooked me up to everything they could hook me up to, the doctor came in there and he said, he checked the machines. He said, oh, I see you fixed it. Why would he say that? Of all the things he could say, he didn't say, it has gone down. He said, I see you fixed it. And that was my clue that I had the power over this. And now, so now that meant I got to go study. I got to go find out what did I do to cause my heart to race like that. So when you put yourself, I'll tell you one of the things that causes it. When you put yourself in a position to be around people who are totally not a part of where your head and your spirit is, you are in a state that can affect your heart because you love these people, family members in particular. And you love them.
State of distress.
Yes. And you're in a state of distress because you see them leaving and you want to see them leave well. Then you got to come to grips with, okay, I represent God on earth, but I ain't God. You understand what I'm saying? But you'll hear me say I am God because the I is the God, but the you ain't.
Oh,
thank you all for letting me serve. And I'll be back next Wednesday with some of your, with the polygamy thing. I'm going to serve you well with that, okay?
What's the author of the Kundalini Yoga book, Mama?
His name is Ra Unefer Amin. I don't know if it's going to show up backwards on here.
Oh, the Ra. Yeah.
I'm gonna type it while you
R-A space U-N space N-E-F-E-R space A-M-E-N. Queen Ayaba, would you give us the 3 Ds again? It was delusion, deception, and
deceit.
Deceit. Okay.
I just want to say I'm about to go. Wonderful.
We all
awesome,
about to go.
wonderful, extraordinary
Don't
conversation.
go yet.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay, just let me
Sister, I
say,
appreciate you coming and sharing your life and your love with us. I love you. Your spirit is remind me so much of my own. You're always smiling and carrying on as is head. Everybody loves to smile up in this joint. So keep smiling. And one day I'm gonna bring my guitar and play y'all. Y'all gonna have to do some call and response with me.
wait a minute,
Okay.
I gotta say one thing. I'm starting my class tonight, and girl, you done gave me some ammunition. I'm like, come on, God. Show me
There you
how to
go.
do
Gotta
it.
spread it. Gotta spread it.
I
Ladies,
got ammunition. I got an eclectic group coming. They coming from every spectrum. I'm like, oh my God. But baby, today was medicine for me and medicine I can give to others. So thank you.
Well, you know, it's the
Ashe.
creator's doing because it knew the group was coming and it wanted to make sure you had whatever you needed. The other word, Hawa, is deflection, deception, delusion. And we all know what deflection is. If you don't know, deflection is when you talk about one thing and then they're going to change it. Well, you know, you should have done this and you should have done that, you know. I was going to go downtown and pick up the coat, but the car, I needed gas. I didn't have money for gas. Well, you knew yesterday you was going to have money for gas. You should have asked. You just didn't want to ask for it. What? No, that ain't, no. You can't get your word out because the person is deflecting you from your perspective. So yeah, and that happens all the time. Donald Trump, if you want to know about all these things, deflection, deception, delusion, God gave us Donald Trump.
There you go.
We got it all.
Elizabeth, Star has something to share before we conclude.
Oh yes, star light, star bright.
Star light, star bright.
Okay, I've been told to give a message to the Elizabeth from our Creator. And I need to explain what God showed me before I give you the message so you understand. So what I saw was God after he had created woman. And he's looking at her and he is very proud of his creation. She's beautiful and he made her very strong and indestructible. So I saw God reach into the woman and take out her power and hide it within himself. And then he said, the power of the woman must be hidden. The principle behind that is when God told Mary and Joseph to take Jesus and hide him because Herod was trying to kill him. So the power of the woman had to be hidden. So all that the woman has gone through was allowed because they could not know the power of the woman. So what I saw was after God took her power, he put her out there and everything that was possible was thrown at her. Wind, rain, darts, fire, everything. And she still stood strong. She did not fall. So
that's why we don't know that we got the power.
The message is, it is now time for the power of the woman to be revealed. And here's the thing, with great power comes great responsibility.
Let me go on mute.
If you choose to receive your power in its fullness, there is great responsibility that goes along with that. Now that's a conversation between you and God, but I was told to give that message to the Elizabeths.
Ashe, my sister. Thank you.
Ashe, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I received that.
Ashe.
Who was that? That was an amen. That was a little baby.
No, that was Heatheroo.
That was you, Heatheroo. Sound like a little baby girl. Well, you are.
And just one more thing. Oh my goodness. Empress had her hand up a while back. If you wanted to say something, Empress.
Yes. Well, back then it was about my cousin who was showing her beautiful body online. I was just, she just the power that she has and just listening to the power of the woman. And, you know, I would just think I was the one that was telling her how beautiful her legs was and how beautiful her breast is.
Shut up.
And, and that she's, you know, she's a beautiful woman. And, you know, and it's not a coincidence that that happened, you know, because she showed us the breast is really not for, it's for food, it's for the baby, you know. And with the school I took my children to, the women will walk around feeding their child. They didn't care whether they showed their breasts, you know, because it's not sexual, it's for the female.
Hey,
So, you know, that's what I was gonna say back then. But I am so grateful for all of you, my cousin and all of you being on this call. You know, I'm grateful for being here. So much gratitude. You see what I'm over here drinking, y'all?
What you drinking?
This is, I put it on the line, there's a cleanse, 3,000 cleanse. It cleanses the intestines, the lower intestines, the upper intestines, and your blood. So I'm drinking this for the salters. We do, for our set, we do 2 salt, we do the cleanse for the salters, both salters, winter salters and the summer salters, and the fall equinox and spring equinox. Hi, Neil. There you go.
Can you let us know what's in it?
Oh, hold on, let me get it.
I guess one day we'll have to have all the different cleanses that, you know.
Can you see it?
There's
Can you,
this.
can you see it?
No, that's so much.
You're gonna have to put that in the chat.
Put that in our chat message in our text.
It came from the brother of Dr. Known as Dr. Julian Nevels Bay, Creation Conservation International.
Okay.
Creation Conservation Welfare International. Yeah.
When are we gonna have him on?
Well, I'm gonna let you let him know. You let me know.
I'm asking you.
I hooked you up, and then that's the way you can talk.
All
Like
right.
we,
Okay.
like we already spoke on, yeah.
Okay.
He already
I love how this family support. You know, sometimes you walk this walk alone, but when you got family that can support, it just helps the power to grow.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and the sisterhood, I just want to acknowledge Hetheru for and at peace for joining together to make sure that we got that message when something went wrong. And let me tell you something else, Mama Heth. I did not have the second half from 9 to 10 on Monday. Something happened with the computer or something and it didn't save. So the next day I was able to make sure everything got saved.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's wonderful. Wonderful. All right. Hug yourselves.
Thank you, Star. Thank you so much. I feel that.
Thank you, Star. Star, that's the
you.
type of our
Thank
thing.
you.
And then there was woman. And you
then there
came
was
right
woman.
with it. Thank you.
Yes.
And God was a woman.
Hug
God
your-
was a woman.
Yes. All right, Almighty, we will see you tonight.
I wish I could see you tonight.
Woohoo! Girl, we
Hi.
see each other all the time. Just think about me. I'll be right there for you. You right there for me. I
What
already
kind
know.
of group is Amani having?
All right.
What is she having?
Girl,
Almighty,
we about to,
share-
we,
yeah,
wait a minute,
share-
we about to
share
do
the
it. We about,
class. Share
Okay,
the
so
class
listen.
in case they still want to join in.
okay, listen.
Is it a Zoom thing?
Yes.
Yeah, give me this, girl. What you doing?
Put the information.
Well, okay, Sheila or Star, one of you guys got to make sure I get Mama's number, okay? So I can send her the Zoom link, or you guys have the Zoom link, send it to her.
Okay.
Can y'all do that for me? Okay, great. Because I'm sort of out of my skin right now. I started reading A Course in Miracles on my own, which I didn't know that you don't do that. But I was crazy, so I read it twice by myself. And that was started in 2007. Then after I read it twice, Holy Spirit told me to lead a course. I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing that. I'm a Buddhist. This is Christian, not my thing. But because I was in a space of I had to follow, I started it.
You have to follow.
So, yes, I followed. So now I've led, this will be my 26th circle. I've led to over 350 people. And what we're doing is realigning ourselves with God, our thinking, our speaking, our being. But we have to get, it's a science of mind, it's psychological. And what the Course of Miracles does is put your psychology with your spirituality, and it can keep you straight. It's your access to being an alchemist. I know for sure, because I done came up from underneath the water table.
Right.
This is my biggest circle. They still coming. As you see somebody like, what you didn't tell me? I got 25 people, and the people who have been reading with me, they got on that, and they saw all those people. They was like, okay, something going down now. It's going down. It's going down right here. I'm clear. I done hooked up with y'all. I done hooked up with another group of powerful sisters. They in another circle talking about, I'm coming to your circle. Can I come? Yeah, come on, because we about to rock the house because it's diversity. Everybody's there. White. Now, you know what's missing in my circle? I got one Black man, which I'm about to impact. I got one Black man, one gay man, everybody else women, but the women cover every spectrum: Asian, white, Black, Indian, everybody here. Because that's who I am.
Bringing them in. Bringing them in.
All in. Because we don't really get that we're a reflection of each other. Because if we believe in reincarnation, we've been all of it. That's our problem. We don't get that we all of it.
Tell me about it. Don't I know?
So that's what I'm doing tonight.
It's a year program.
Listen, because this is how come I love Mama. She be talking about practice. You got to what she say? Workshop. I'm a fearless leader. I don't play. You got to practice. Don't be coming to my class, ain't reading. Don't be talking about I couldn't make it. If God, you know God was gonna be Wednesday and Zoom at 7, would you be there? Nothing would get in your way. But all it keeps, the Course of Miracles gonna show you what gets in between you and God. Our job is to get everything that's in between me and God out of the way. That's what we're about to do. Period. And I ain't playing. But I'm gonna have fun and I'm gonna have a good time. But I am like the goddess Kuan Yin. Do no harm, take no shit.
So can we join at any point?
No, this is we all about to get in the boat. You can't get in the boat anytime you get ready. The boat done took off. You can't get on the plane anytime you get ready. The plane done took off. Okay. This is a commitment, and we're about to deal with that because everybody got commitment issues, even me. We don't even want to commit to God. That's the problem.
That's right. You are right. Oh my God.
Evelyn.
You just said it.
I'm gonna give me your number. I'm gonna put it down here. Okay. So if the sisters want it.
It's 248.
248. I'm ready.
3261.
Oh, okay. Say the 248
818
818
32 61. Yeah.
Oh, money.
Is 818 the area code?
No, 248 is the area code.
Where are you?
I'm in Novi, Michigan.
Oh, okay. Never heard of it.
But it's 248.
Okay.
Listen, I had an epiphany. I thought I was moving down to an island. It didn't work out, but when I came back, when I went to the island, Detroit was too dense. I couldn't hear God when I came back. It's like Detroit is dense. It's on the drive. It's on the move. God is in the quiet. God is in the stillness. God is in the peaceness. So I couldn't do 313. Give me anything but 248, 7, anything, but not 313. Even 5. I couldn't even come back in Detroit. It's too thick. You can't really hear. Only time I could hear God in Detroit if I was up on the 3rd or 4th floor where the air is thin. But if you down on the ground, you got to work.
I know the feeling. It is thick.
Yes. It's
It
the
is.
sick.
It's like you can feel it. It's sick.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
And so I really get out. I don't have to live like that. I get to choose. And my heart is in Detroit. You know, it's hard for me to take the gentrification. I've been here all my life. It's heartbreaking. I don't want to live in heartbreak. I want to live in peace and love and beauty, and power and glory, abundance, prosperity. I'm playing that game, period. And I'm taking as many people with me as I can. And I'm opening the door. Everybody, come on. The coast is clear, mofos.
Harriet.
So we-
Harriet. Oh.
So we call you to get the code for the Zoom, or is Aduni gonna send it to us?
Aduni, could you, share, Star, which one of y'all? I don't know. I know y'all got scheduled.
I just texted it to you, Mama Ayaba.
Can you text it?
Oh, that's why my phone is ringing. Okay.
Can you text it to me also, Star? Thank you.
Yeah.
Nawali
Okay,
girl, I've been trying to
Queen
call
Ayaba,
you.
send it on.
Okay.
Nawali be
Yeah.
in her piece. She'd be like,
Amani,
you can't disturb me now. That's
you were
Nawali.
saying, the theme about prosperity and stuff where,
Okay,
this
so listen.
class about.
Okay, so this is the deal. How I got to the Course of Miracles is because I start asking the universe, how come I wasn't a millionaire or on track to be a millionaire? That was my question. So as a minister, then I became a minister. As a minister, my conversation to bring to the world that's not in existence and to keep fighting for it to be in existence is the conversation for abundance and prosperity. So now I've taken everything I've learned about abundance, prosperity, and manifesting, hooking it in with the Course of Miracles. And it's a boom, pow, 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 pow. It's like that. And because some people teach the Course of Miracles from what's important to them, right? And so there's another sister, she's awesome. She teaches from Egyptian mysticism, which is another whole hook, right? But however, inside of Egyptian mysticism, wealth and abundance is like a done deal because everything comes from God. And if you get that, you don't have to worry about manifesting because you hooked up with God. But I also know that you got to know the principle, the laws of spirituality and abundance. You got to know the laws, the principles, and the processes. If you get that, it's like we got all this knowledge, but the process to get through when you're dealing with something, what's the 1, 2, 3s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, and you're out. And if you understand that and know what tool to bring, whether it's relationships, money, situation, whatever it is, if you know what tool to bring to a situation, you can break through anything, period. Coupled along with your languaging.
Mm-hmm.
What we're saying is giving us our world. Your words create your world. In the beginning, there was the word, and the word was void until you say. So if you say you broke, you broke. I'm broke right now. You broke then. You won't, the universe goes, she broke. Give her some more broke. If you say you sick, I am sick, because anything you say after I am is God's name, and God is not sick, and that's blasphemy. To be walking in sickness, to be walking in lack, to be walking in prosperity. None of that is of God, and I'm done.
Okay. And we got it.
Yeah, anything that ain't of God, I'm done, and we're about to etch it out. And it's a fight, because the Course of Miracles is about distinguishing your ego from spirit. Ego from spirit. The ego is what's stopping us. And however old you are, your ego has been in place all that time. And when I start to uncover it, it starts to fight back. So there goes the fight. Your ego be like, don't tell me, you don't know me. How you say, and what? So I have to go through all of that to get them to, oh, sorry, you were right. But I got to go through the fight first. The resistance to change, the resistance to going higher. The word surrender, if you look it up, etymology, it means to melt into your higher self. Surrender, to melt into your higher self. If we knew that was the deal, we would be surrendering every second, every minute, every day. What? Surrender. I want to go higher and higher and higher. That's the game. So that's what I'm doing.
I love it. Yes.
That's what I'm doing. And I love being with y'all. It's a return to home for me. So thank you.
Shay, likewise.
Yeah, thank you, Queen Aduni.
I'm a
Thank you, Star. I love y'all. God
Thank
gave me this God gave me this beautiful job. It's 3 lights away from my house. And I work in a jewelry store. He's a master jewelist and gemologist.
Wow.
But what I get is I get to be with the diamonds and rubies and the pearls and all the qualities, the spiritual qualities of the diamonds, rubies and pearls and lapis. And oh my God, he got everything in there. Oh my God. And so I just go in there absorbing. That. Because it's from the earth. It's like, oh my God, no, you didn't put me right with the diamonds. And so it's having me be present to each and every one of us, our diamonds, rubies, pearls, sapphires. We can pull in any qualities. So girl, and while I'm there, I'm getting me some cute jewelry. Cute jewelry.
Yeah.
I'm like, so that's I lost everything. That's God saying, okay, here's your stuff back since you want that stuff so bad.
That's
But
beautiful.
now my stuff does not define me. My stuff is for me to enjoy. Whereas before I was getting stuff I got status, but no, I get stuff now because that's my enjoyment. That's my reward from the universe for doing a great job, daughter.
I say. You are such a joy.
That's what I'm geeked about. So I love y'all. I gotta go.
Love you all.
Okay.
Peace and lessons.
Call me if you need to.
Cousin Ayaba, send me your the information that she sent you. Okay.
Okay.
Love you all.
Okay.
Have a divine day.
Empress,
Yes.
just type it in here and then Pam will she'll snatch it and
I'm
send
on
it.
a conference, so she'll send
Okay, got it. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Peace out.
Peace up.